Hey, girl.
Hey, Angie. Hey, Keela.
Hey, y'all. It's a pop-up
Uh-huh.
show. It's a pop-up show.
Hola, ¿cómo está usted?
Oh, I don't know
Bien,
all
¿y tú?
that.
Um, mm,
I see.
yeah, that. If you said just okay.
Did,
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
did she say yes, yes?
I see means I'm all right.
Okay. Okay.
I
I
see it.
don't I don't know it like that, so I'm not gonna even pretend.
Me
That's
either.
all right.
I can't use Angel right now. She can't hear y'all with my headphones on.
And as
But
long as I
Okay.
know Angie and even live with Angie, it seemed like I would know more. But it's so
I
sad.
know, and that's how I tell Jamal all the time. Like you should really know how to talk more, but
I know. Oh, I have a friend right now. She is Puerto Rican, and she said she get mad at her parents all the time because they moved
mm-hmm.
here and they never taught her.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Hmm.
I know, and she's full Puerto Rican. Like she's not just like grew up in a black household. She's full Puerto Rican. She's like, I don't know why my parents did me like that. She was like,
Mm.
it's terrible.
Oh,
Hmm. Oh,
oh, the Barracuda. Did I say it right?
the
No.
qué? You said barracuda. What were you trying to say? Let me ask you
I
that.
know.
What did we call you, Angie?
Oh,
Oh,
Boricua.
Oh my
oh my God. No, she didn't.
I was like,
She
that's a new one for me.
Barracuda. I'm like, ain't that what
Boricua.
Fred
God.
Sanford called Esther?
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry.
Boricua. Yes.
I needed that laugh today, though.
That
Seriously.
is so funny.
How are you all doing? How are y'all doing?
Good, good. Hanging in there. I was hoping I would be at the Puerto Rican Festival in Chicago, but I couldn't swing it after we had lost power all week.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I can only imagine. How many days were you without power?
Four,
Oh, that's a long time.
4 long days.
So what
That's
did
a
you do? Like, is everything
Nothing.
okay?
No, what was really crazy is that so we went like 2.5, maybe almost 3, and then we were outside. It was like almost 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock at night,
Mhm.
and the power comes on, and I'm hearing people celebrating. Yeah, power's on.
Uh-huh.
And then 3 minutes later, we hear the transformer blow, and it went out.
everybody's went out. Oh wow. You
Oh no.
know,
So it was like a very short celebration.
That's
I was feeling so sorry for my coworkers who had power. They originally did not lose it, but because they came in the neighborhoods to fix the
Yeah,
power, they ended up having to
yeah,
have theirs turned off. So I
I
was like,
know.
oh God, I can't even imagine.
that's awful.
Yeah. But our
Awful.
grids are just so old. I mean, that's one. I mean, Planet Detroit covers a bunch of things, and one of the things we cover is this DTE situation we have, this monopoly, and this um, infrastructure situation we have in our area in Highland Park. Notorious. I mean, it's just an old city, so our infrastructure is very old. We
Okay.
really need new infrastructure to really stop some of these. We're always one of the first and last to get power. We're always first to lose it and the last to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the truth though.
That's not fair. But I'll say this: it's not. I don't think it's unique to Highland Park because before we moved to where we are now, we were at Maple and like Pilgrim in Birmingham, and
Hmm.
when the wind could blow hard, the
Yes.
whole block would like lose power,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was awful. And whenever the wind started blowing, we started panicking.
I know that's the same with us.
'Cause we knew
But
what was
that's an
happening.
older neighborhood as well. So again, they
Yeah.
might be the
Mhm.
same situation and have old infrastructure. Yeah.
Yes, I don't want people to think that it's because it's more black people in Highland Park.
Oh no, no. It happens in other
But
places, but the
is it more
majority of
black people
places,
in
yeah,
Highland Park?
we have 98% African American population.
Really? I never
Yeah,
knew that about Highland Park. I don't
yeah.
know. I thought it was
Well,
really
it
mixed.
wasn't like that back in the 40s, 30s, 40s,
Yeah,
50s.
but
It
I
changed.
wasn't
Yeah.
born. I thought it was still more mixed. You know.
No.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
like, oh, because I was thinking like she like, well, there was a time when it
No,
was like,
because it was at one
but
time a very white community, but it was
okay,
because of the Ford factory being here in our city that brought in people from all over the world. So this was a
okay,
very mixed community, but
okay,
the black population really increased like in the early '60s on up. It just became a more majority black. I mean, this was a sundown town. This was one of those towns where they had the racial covenants where they would not sell property to black people. So
okay.
Yeah, you know
yeah.
what? I can see that because those homes are beautiful. You know,
Yeah,
They
they're old,
are.
but they're unique. All of them, especially in the what they call the historic districts, were custom made for the executives at the Ford factory.
okay. And so, and then it kind of spills over to that line where it's like Boston Edison because those homes are
Yes.
beautiful
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
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 I love your background.
Yes.
Like I know you
Yes. I was like,
outside,
I
but
gotta be outside.
I love the
Yes.
look of that. It's so funny because I love for my yard to look nice. I do not like to get out there and do it, but I love that. Oh, I just love all of that. Like I got my wood
We're yeah,
stacked up right
we're
now.
slowly turning into a farm space.
Yeah, I like it.
And it's so funny because I thought about you, Tanya, because just was it
What?
last week? Woo, I be running to some bugs, and I just be like, mm. It be some special moments, and I'm like, whoo, them spiders and the praying mantis and the other bugs and
Oh, cha.
the tomato bug that gets on tomato plants is one of the ugliest creatures I have ever
Oh
seen.
my God. What does a tomato bug look like? I probably have seen it
It's
in my yard.
and
I
it
ain't gonna lie.
blends in because it's almost identical to the color of the stem of the tomato plant. So it likes to like it literally blends into it. So sometimes I'm just over there and I'm like, there it is, because it shocks you. But it does have these little eyes. It has these little eyes and this really unique pattern on its body. And
Am I
then when
gonna
it's like,
regret looking this up?
yes, you will regret it, especially if you find one with eggs on it. Oh,
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 I'm
it's
not
just
gonna do it.
worse.
I'm not gonna
yeah.
do it.
That
I'm
is
not
So
gonna do
anyway,
my.
so I thought about you because I know you had mentioned before that you can't handle the bugs, and I was like, you
it's
do have to really have, yeah, because I don't like bugs that much
The
either, but
first time I saw
I had to.
is it a grub?
Oh yeah, grubs are ugly too.
Oh, the
Yeah,
first time I saw one
yeah,
of those,
but
they
they're
look like
small
little
to me.
aliens. But they look like
Now,
little aliens, like alien embryos that should not be on the earth.
so yeah, and then the other week, yeah, I made a mistake. Okay, so on the side of a planter, I'm gonna show you a planter. So this is like, hopefully it's not one on this on the side
girl.
of the planter. So this is a planter or fennel, right? So it was sitting down and I went and I reached and I grabbed it. And on the side, I was like, oh, what is that? It was a slug. And slugs
Oh,
are like, they look like little eels. It
yes.
Yes,
was so
I hate
gross to
slugs.
touch it. I was like, okay, this is not what but I normally, because sometimes I wear my gloves, I probably wouldn't have felt it. So I'm glad I felt it in that sense because slugs can do damage to your garden, but it was just so gross. So yeah, I do feel all that.
They just so ugly.
Oh my
They're
goodness. Well,
ugly.
I don't
But
know.
I told y'all I'm in that Black Girls Garden group. And Angela, you might have heard of because you
Oh
into all
yeah,
the
yeah.
gardening. Man, I learned some phenomenal things in that group. Like it's interesting. I'm thinking like, wow, we are some really smart people. Just some of the things that they
And
share
it's
in
so
that
much
group.
science.
It
Yes.
is. It
Okay,
really
tell me
is. It's
something that you
intriguing.
learned that just blew your mind.
So I love trees. Like I absolutely love trees. I love to study them. I love to know like I just love everything about them. I want to know if it's a female tree, a male tree, the different
Mm.
leaves,
It's different
where
male trees.
yeah.
I did not know that, and I was a
Really,
teacher.
Tanya.
I honestly
Oh,
didn't know
Tanya,
that.
not
I was a teacher.
we know plants come in both, right? You know that.
Yeah. So the one thing that tripped me out is how we have the bees that pollinate,
Yes.
they
Yeah.
so these women were like, well, if you don't have enough bees around, you make the stems together and so they could reproduce. And I was
Yeah.
thinking,
You,
like, are you freaking
yeah, yeah,
serious? So they were taking the
yeah.
female plant with the, and they were I was like, I never knew that. Like, who would have thought? So you got to manually do it.
Mhm. Yes,
So that was
yeah. There's
intriguing
some
to
places
me.
that, yeah, have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that was.
luckily we're trying to attract more pollinators to our garden space, and a lot of gardeners are doing this now, where we're intentionally planting native plants and flowers to attract
Mhm.
pollinators, because there is, I mean, if you haven't noticed lately, there's the monarch butterfly is endangered now.
Yes, it is, and that's one of
And
my
so we're,
favorite.
yeah, so we really have to do more to stop people from using chemicals. And I know
Yeah,
people love those nice green lawns with no weeds,
I
but
know,
that
and
stuff is not this, it's toxic to the pollinators, but it's toxic to us. It goes in our water, you know, so
I'm not
we
gonna
just
lie,
have
I'm
to rethink
terrible
that.
with it because I hate them ugly dandelions. But I know Farmington Hills had put out a letter like, stop killing the bees,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
when you have them in your attic, they are going to
Yeah.
die. But
Yeah.
I guess they've kind of been in danger too. So
Yes, they
Hey,
have. Yeah, and not all bees are the ones that are pollinators, or the
right.
good ones. So, you know, you could have the bad ones in your
Oh,
attic.
I
So
definitely had
maybe
the
that's
bad
what it
ones.
is. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to save those.
so I do have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still stuck on. I have to stay here. I promise you, I did not know that there were male and female trees. I didn't.
Tanya, like, let's revisit this.
So I just want to put that out there. Then I'm wondering too. So Angie, what is the purpose of a dandelion then, if not but to kill them because they destroy grass?
Oh boy.
It's a lot of
Now
beneficial.
that's the problem. We have, yes, we have
Those are the
really
things when you say,
been, I
"Mommy
don't
had a
even know
baby
what to
in
call it. I don't want to call it brainwash,
her hair."
huh?
I was just thinking because those are the things you used to pick up
Say it
and say,
again.
"Mama had a baby and the hair popped off," and then we used
Yep,
to.
and then yes.
Yes. Okay. So.
Yes, and we'll blow them, and so all the seeds were spread. So
Uh-huh.
dandelions are extremely, extremely medicinal plants, and
Really?
we have gotten into the habit in our society to look at so many things that are actually beneficial for us as weeds, as bad things, as we got to get rid of them. Well,
Mhm.
actually, you should be using your dandelion. You
I
should be
put them in my
using from, I'm
smoothies.
talking about from the flower, the leaves, the roots can all be used medicinally in your body to
Oh,
make teas,
I never
tinctures,
used the root.
salves. I mean, it's all kind of stuff that you can do with dandelions, and they're a really beneficial.
Uh oh, she's frozen.
Oh no, I
Yeah,
was.
the root is actually what, I mean. You'll probably see the tea in health food stores. You'll see dandelion root tea. So the
Yeah,
root
I
can
have
be
seen that. Now that you say that, I just
yeah.
never mentally thought of the root. That's weird that I
Yes,
didn't.
I
But I
know.
do like dandelions in my smoothies though. Like,
What
they
do you
make
use?
one.
The greens or the flour?
The flour. I use the flour
Okay.
part, and then sometime I'll dry them out and use them, because sometimes mentally using them fresh be weird for me. I don't know why. It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm learning stuff, but I need to, what comes first then? The yellow part of the dandelion or the one that we blow everywhere? Because those
the
are the same thing.
the yellow part comes first, and then the wish
Yeah.
part that my dad will
Yeah.
do. You blow a wish, and my
But those
dad
are
will.
all the seeds.
Yes, and my dad will break your neck if you blow those.
Yes.
See, don't make wishes in my yard.
Yeah. Because you're basically blowing the seeds all over the world. So you're like spreading them.
Oh,
But
oh, good.
there's a lot of edible weeds that we actually just destroy, you know, either by removing them manually or killing them with that toxic stuff that we
Okay, so
use.
this is too funny. Let me just say this. We immediately started talking.
We
I
did.
know we did.
We're 14 minutes in. Hi everyone. We're here today.
Uh,
Gonna
Theodore said replay. This not a replay, Theodore. This is she's back for part two.
This is live. This is part two. We're welcoming Angela back to talk to us about Planet Detroit first, because we totally forgot about that the last time because we got so caught up into gardening and then gardening. But we kind of this conversation just, and it's a organic conversation that took its own little turn. We're having a good conversation, so now we want to include you. So hi Aaron, hi Crystal, hi Theodora. Who else is over there, Keela? Let me scroll. Let's see.
Uh, the uh, I
Dora.
see people that are in the room that haven't commented, like Sade is here.
Okay.
Um, but it's our regulars that I had to let them know that we were on tonight
Yeah.
instead of.
But there
Mhm.
will be a replay tomorrow, Theodora. So tune in tomorrow if you want to catch the beginning of the conversation.
Yes. But I'm glad she said that because they probably are thinking since Angela was here before. Because
Mhm.
she like replay. I'm like, it's not a replay. It's
Yeah,
Angela is back for part two.
exactly. Because we didn't get enough of her the last time. And right now I think she's frozen.
She is frozen.
That's okay. She'll
So Aaron said to resolve the weed killer. I know I really do have to resolve the weed killer. I really like for my yard to look a certain way. And I'm gonna ask Angela an organic way to try to, because a lot of people use the weed killers to keep the mosquitoes down, to keep so people can enjoy sitting outside in their yard, you
mm-hmm.
know, but they do destroy weed killers do destroy a lot of things. And then you have to keep the dogs away from them. Like I could notice my dog feet be a little itchy when when I get the grass fertilized. But I have a company that come out and
I think
they
that's
co-
there too.
yeah,
Company. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I have a company that comes out and so they get things done. But maybe Angela can tell us a more organic way
Okay,
to
I'm back.
do the yard. Yes, because in the Black Girls Garden group, I've learned that all of these bugs have an assignment. So that was another thing that tripped me out, and Angela can probably talk about that as well.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, they're beneficial insects, so that's what they call them. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, we
Yes,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
she's frozen, but we can hear
Okay.
you.
They're beneficial insects in all. Okay, perfect. I'll just keep talking. But they're beneficial insects in the garden space that do attack like some of the pests that may, get on some of the fruit and vegetables that you're growing. For the most part, yeah, you don't want to kill too many of them. Because they all have a role. I mean, the ecosystem it works in a certain way, and sometimes when we go in and disrupt it, it messes up something else. So
Yeah,
we try to, even though we battle like right now, we're battling the animals, getting our produce.
yeah,
They want our apples, they want our tomatoes, they want anything that they can get because they're also needing to eat and save stuff for this winter. So it's a battle, and it's always, and then one season might be one thing and another season might be something else, and so that's what you have to kind of manage. But we try to work with, by not like really using anything like chemical wise, anything that might destroy our environment, by trying to control the pests and the animals that are in our world. They live with us just like we do. So
right.
Mm. So okay, Angie, seriously. Everyone has a part in all the insects. What's the purpose of a mosquito?
okay, mosquitoes are a special case. I don't like mosquitoes because
I need to
growing up
know.
in Puerto Rico, they are just horrible in some areas, and even in the woods. Like I've gone in in the Belle Isle wood trails and completely had to run out of that mug because it was so bad. So I would say mosquitoes for me don't have a place, but they live in the world. They must be food for something. So again, it's like
God created them for a
mosquitoes are
reason.
food for some other, animal. So again, it's not my place to say you won't belong here. So we have to deal with
Yeah,
it, but
I
we do
don't.
things, we use things to try to deter them, like citronella, and you can burn sage, and that helps. And so you try to just work with, with what you have to get rid of
With
them.
more organic things. So, what is something more organic to use for our fruits, vegetable lawns, and stuff like that?
Yeah, so usually when we have any kind of pest issues, there's some really like basic things that you can do with water, like some vinegar. Sometimes you can do lemon juice. Very, very small amount of like dish soap you can use, and you mix it in the spray bottle, and even like blending up like garlic or pepper, things like that. You can
Mm,
make a mixture, and we use that, and we spray our leaves with that.
okay.
And it doesn't, I mean, you have to reapply it obviously if it rains and, you know, a few days and all that. But for the most part, that works really well to get some of the pests off of your produce. And if you don't want to use that, then and I know it's, now you're going to have a fit, but we also manually get rid of things like squeezing them and killing them that way or drowning them in water.
And it's funny because some people don't ever get bit by mosquitoes. So
Yeah.
they are only
Mm.
attracted to certain people, which is weird.
Yeah.
But Crystal said
People often say eating a lot of garlic helps, you know, because you're, you know, if you remember, I don't know if you've ever eaten a lot of garlic at one time, but you exude it, it comes out of your
oh
pores, and
yeah, you ever sat
yeah,
next to somebody that eat a lot of garlic?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But Crystal says mosquitoes suck our blood out of our bodies, not Dracula. And then Aaron says my ex mother in law knows about mosquitoes. She's a blood sucker, always brawling stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Okay.
man,
Note to self: when Aaron posts something, we gotta read it
that's
before we.
right. Before you, yeah, read it first, and then
So I know this is Tanya's show, and I know she's
Oh,
normally
it's our show.
facilitating, but I wanted to not miss some of your pictures.
oh yes, for
So
last time, yeah,
because we are doing part two, so I want to kind of get that part. So I'm just gonna put up some, and then you can kind of
yeah.
tell us what it is. Okay, so this is first things first with this picture.
Oh yes, Planet Detroit. So so I just I got hired for to work at Planet Detroit in May of this year, and
Okay,
so I was hired as the community engagement director, and I've kind of transitioned into being a semi like journalist in training. So I have 5 articles that I've written since June in the publication,
nice.
and it's all online, and you can sign up for the weekly newsletter. Comes out every Friday. Go to planetdetroit.org, and they are basically they are serving as a resource hub of information dealing with anything environmental in Detroit, Highland Park, and Hamtramck. And then sometimes we cover other areas if there's some kind of relationship with the city. So we do a lot of wonderful. I mean, all the writers are wonderful, but they do a lot of work in the space of, you know, dealing with the asthma issue that we have in our community,
Okay.
air, which is air quality, and then the lead in the water, with, you know, with also some of these factories are setting up in our neighborhoods that are really toxic facilities and are killing our people. I
Oh
mean, it's a lot of
wow.
stuff happening. And I even reported
And
on
that's
the
the
rain garden.
information for that.
Yeah, that's the information. The rain garden movement also, there's, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but a lot of people are trying to use rain gardens to try to mitigate some of the stormwater issues that we're having with flooding. And so
Okay.
there's huge places like churches doing them, but then also homes are doing them. So we're installing our rain garden on September 24th. And I just went to a rain garden install this past week, and it was really fantastic. So a group of individuals show up, they volunteer, and they help someone install a rain garden. And that program is through Friends of the Rouge and also the Sierra Club, and
Okay.
they do it, I think, once or twice a year. They do this program where you go to like a 5 week class, workshop class, and you
Oh,
learn about rain gardens. You learn about, you know, you try to measure like how much water is going to fall into the rain garden I want to build, and then that
Oh,
determines the
nice.
size. So you find out, well, what size the rain garden, how many plants can I plant in it, and then you
Oh, that is
actually
so
come
cool.
together. It is really a cool program, and even if you don't go through the program, they have all the information online, and so you can get a group of your own family and friends together and do one.
and
But they're gonna really help. Yeah,
they're free.
yeah, the program is free, and then but if you do it yourself, you obviously have to have either the supplies to do it and the plants and all that. But it's not that expensive to buy native flowers and compost and wood chips, and then do some sweat equity to dig out the space. But it's really a great program, and I'm hoping that more people take advantage of it. They try to sometimes do different areas of Detroit, to try to have a focus area. But they this last one that they did in June kind of had people from all over.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Okay,
cute.
so this next one,
Oh, yes. So this spring actually we
the white
installed a
flower.
new, yeah, a new a new garden in Highland Park. My Sister's Keeper, which is a local grassroots organization that
I
does a lot
love
of
it.
things with teens. And this is one of the young people that is in the family, and I was helping to plant up the garden for the spring season.
Oh, so
Yeah.
cute.
So cute.
Yeah, and he just started kindergarten, so I'm like, ah. I saw a picture recently, first day of kindergarten.
Train
Oh.
him up.
Oh, this is one of my favorite spots. This is Palmer Park. So we have a community garden space in Palmer Park, and what they did is for about almost 10 years, it was an open kind of community garden space. But 4 years ago, they decided to start renting out the beds in the park, in the community
Hmm.
garden, to organizations. So you could be a church, or we have a girl trek bed. Detroit Windsor Dance Academy has a bed. There's families with beds. There's people that are just friends on the block with a bed, and so we rent the bed
Nice.
out for the season, and we're able to grow things in it. And we've had a really great experience. Of course, we deal with completely different issues being in Palmer Park because they have a lot more animals and a lot more
Yeah.
people that come through there. But for the most part, they respect the space for the most part. But sometimes people's things get taken.
Oh, I could just only imagine. That was kind of one of my first thoughts. Like, I wonder, do people's stuff get taken?
Can I
Nah.
ask a silly question? It
Yeah.
might, I don't know. I'm just wondering. So when you say a problem with animals, so suppose you have like animals that come and like urinate on, is what do you do, and how do you know if they did or not, or do they know not to, like a raccoon or a rabbit or like?
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. So those raised beds at Palmer Park, they're tall, so that doesn't really happen as much. But there are a lot of raised beds that are more like 8 to 10 inches off the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and that does happen. And there's nothing you can do about it. They sometimes animals can destroy your garden because of their urine, because
How
that's
do
too
Mm.
it's very high in nitrite.
does it smell? Is
Say
that how
what?
you they did it or not?
No, it tends to break down. It tends to break down, so it doesn't smell, but you can tell when cats. Usually, when cats
Oh,
go in your garden bed, that's when you really can
I can
tell.
tell when they're in my
Because
yard. So it's
they have very strong odor.
yes, it is disgusting.
Yeah, yeah,
So I went to my first sunflower
yeah. But
field.
we haven't had that issue, so luckily.
Thank God.
Oh, at the box, did you go to the box?
I did. But nobody warned me
Okay.
that it was gonna be okay. So I thought I was gonna have this beautiful sunflower picking thing, and it was. So I came home, don't forgetting that bugs hide in the flowers, right? Child, let me tell you, for
Very
3 days
nice.
straight, I had that basil that you gave Angel,
Yes.
a caterpillar ate it from the flowers because I set the flowers next to the windows. Yeah, so she came home and she was
Oh
like, "My, there's
wow.
no way that all my basil is gone. It's just look weird." I'm like, "Well, it was there when we left." And she just happened to look, and it was a caterpillar that had fell from the flowers
Yeah.
into the basil, or
Oh,
maybe
wow.
he
And
smelled
they
it.
went
I
to
don't.
town.
Angela, they went to town. Look, so I'm like, what are those little pellets? I thought it was a mouse, right? I'm like, oh God, we got a mouse in the house. So I said, look up caterpillar poop. And she looked it up, and I'm
Oh,
like, are
no.
you serious? Like this thing that destroyed all of this and this then spiders that
Yeah.
I had never experienced in my life. I was
Yes.
like, okay, you know what? These are going out on the porch. So the
Outside, yep.
experience was beautiful, but nobody warned me of that part. So it's a wrap
And
on
that
that.
happens. It happens even in our garden. Like, I've done that before where I brought something in and it had a spider in there and I had no idea. And I'm like, but it does happen. So yeah,
Yeah.
but it's sad that it happened because that, especially where they're out, in the farm space, so they
Right.
get really inundated with a lot of different bugs, and you just basically say, "Come on in," you
Yeah,
brought them right
that's
in, and they
exactly
was
what I did.
good.
Oh,
Hmm.
child, I didn't know. Nobody told me, but I know now. Okay, so
Wait, say three. Oh, this is go ahead. Okay.
oh no, you were about to say something?
I was going to read Aaron's question, but because
Go
it's
Oh
ahead.
yeah.
we have to pre-read it. When is a
Okay.
good when is a good time to start winterizing the garden?
Okay, so right now we're still in the last few, I would say maybe month and a half of the season. So believe it or not, there's still people planting things
Mm-hmm.
because there's still
I
time
just
to
saw
get
that in the
something.
group.
Yeah, so there's like you can still plant like lettuces and radishes and some herbs and other brassicas, collards and stuff. You can get something from it. So, but usually I would say late September, early October is when you want to start like kind of clean what I call clearing the garden out. And it's
Mhm.
not, I mean, I do it differently than when I first started. When I first started, it was like we were taught, get everything out of the bed, make it completely clean and then cover it with leaves or straw or cardboard for the next season. And I still do that to some spaces in my garden, but other spaces I actually have started to leave plants in place
Mm.
because I've learned that there are bugs and birds and maybe small animals who overwinter in those things. So I kind of provide what they call like a habitat for them.
Child, you give them a home.
Yes. Again, I'm trying to live, cohesively with the planet. So,
You are one with nature.
They're like, we won't bother Angie.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Like,
love her.
Yeah,
oh,
so and it has helped. I mean, I have seen more pollinators this season than I have in
And that's
other
good
seasons.
because
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I saw in the group how they were just trying to attract more pollinators this
Yes.
year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't over. So I think the question was, what is a good time? So I definitely will start though cleaning out like old plants, like things that are definitely not coming back. You always want to make sure that you know what you planted because I've had friends do this and it's just like, oh my gosh, just ask someone. They would throw out perfectly good perennial plants that they think.
Oh, because they just didn't
Right, they just
know.
clear it all out, and I'm like, "No, you leave it, and then you get an even bigger bounty next year." But they
Yeah.
cleared the whole bed out, and then they end up with nothing. They have to start over.
So you know what I didn't know was a perennial. Wait,
Mhm.
perennial, yes. Is I have these big ferns that grow in my yard. I didn't know that
Mhm.
ferns were perennial. So I thought the first year they just kind of died out. And because it was the first year I moved here, and I'm like,
Yes.
oh, okay, well, I didn't know anything about cleaning out of the garden beds and trimming, pruning things down for the next year until I met the guy that do my lawn. And he was like, well, this needs pruning, these need to be cut down. And I'm like, okay, cool. So the next year the ferns came back and I'm like, wow, who knew? I never
Right,
knew. They are
right.
so beautiful. I
And they
love
probably,
ferns.
yes, me
I
too. Me too. I love ferns. They just give a tropical kind of
They
feel,
do. That's
right?
what I
Yeah.
like about them. That's why I always have them hanging on the porch and I got them in the ground. They are so beautiful.
Yes, yes. There's a
Oh,
lot of things that come back, but people do make the mistake of either not trim them so that they even get better next year, or some things need to be split. There's some things that need to be split every season or every other season, and so they don't do that, and then they suffer actually the
they
following season.
do, and that's
Yeah.
interesting. So I had some coral bells that died because I didn't know
Mm,
how to. It
hmm.
just, yeah, they. I didn't know. All of this became new to me when I moved here, so I
Yeah,
didn't
and
get
it's
all.
it's a learning. It's a
Yeah,
learning experience. It's still. I mean, I'm 14 years in, and I'm still learning. Yeah, I am. I'm serious. Like
right.
people
Well,
think
that's
I,
free.
every no, you still learning. I like literally. I learned some things. I went to Soul Fire Farm in New York last month. Was it last? Yeah, last month, and it was a farming immersion, and I learned so much. Even though I have been doing this for 14 years, it's just so much, so many other techniques, and so much other knowledge that you could just gain from people that
yeah,
either been doing it longer or had exposure to different education than you.
I like that. Okay, so this picture.
Yes, that's probably year maybe 4 or 5. So it's, yeah, I don't even garden in that area anymore. But those are all green onions. And I probably was planting my garlic for the fall. So garlic goes in the fall. So that's one thing that I would
Oh,
recommend, that if anyone can do garlic, like if they have a space where they can plant garlic, it is the easiest crop to grow. I literally do
really?
nothing to my garden. I don't. The most I might do is sometimes I put added compost during the season, but I almost never do that. But I don't water it or nothing. I probably should. It probably would come out bigger. But I just, you literally plant a clove and it gives you a whole new bulb. It's
Wow,
so
that's
easy.
interesting.
Yeah, so in the fall, so by like no later usually than the first week of November, I would plant my garlic up, and then you just cover it with like straw or leaves, or you just want to cover it with either even shredded paper. You just want to give it like what they call a bed for the winter, so give it some insulation, and then it starts to sprout. It's one of the first things starts to sprout out in the spring. You start seeing these little things, and everybody always thinks, "Oh, those are onions," and I'm like, "Nope, that's garlic."
Oh,
Or
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it.
yeah, and you can do it in pots too. I've done it in pots too.
Okay. Okay. I love this picture because I love how colorful it is.
Oh my, yeah, that's a great harvest. So I love growing. Like every season, I try to grow like at least 2 to 3 new to me things. So I
Hmm.
like trying different types of tomatoes, because tomatoes, oh my gosh, there's hundreds,
Yes.
right? So I mean, mostly all vegetables and fruit. They have a ton of varieties. So I always try something new to me, and so like even this year, like this one was new to me. This orange one is
Okay.
new to
Thank you,
me.
Angie, because I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, but did you let it turn? Did it turn
It
orange?
got a little bit darker than that.
Okay.
Yes, and
Well,
I didn't want to cook it with the green ones.
yeah. So this one was new to me, and this one it was a really nice flavor to it. Like it was just, again, I just like to try different ones, and then I did a new cherry tomato, because for me, cherry tomatoes grow amazing no matter the season. Like,
Hmm.
so this was a new cherry tomato that I did.
Okay.
And see how it has a like really unique color?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love all of medley color tomatoes. So when I make like pasta salad or something, I like to buy the medley color
Oh
tomatoes
yeah,
because
the
it's like
mixture.
the
Yeah.
purple,
Yeah.
orange, yellow. It just makes the salad look so much prettier.
And it's so much, like the flavors
The
are so
flavor,
different.
it
Yeah,
is.
and people don't realize, like there's a one that's like orange like this. That's the cherry. It's called sun gold.
Oh,
That's
I've
like,
had one of
that is
those.
my, well, that's become one of my favorites. And then there's a black cherry tomato that's like dark, like these.
Like a plum color.
It's not that dark. I've seen those, but it's
Okay.
not that dark. But it just gets a real nice, rich, dark red, like great looking color. But it's
Okay.
delicious. And I mean, those are my favorites. Green zebra, which a lot of people, they don't
I
even,
never heard of
yeah,
green
greens, and
zebra.
it actually has like stripes on it. And
Oh,
it usually never turns, like when it's green and stripy, that's when it's ripe. So a lot of people
okay.
think, oh, it's not ripe yet, but it actually is, because you could just squeeze it a little bit. And if it's soft, that's when you know that it's ready. If you
Okay.
keep it on the vine, it'll turn like this orange color with the green stripes. It's kind of sweet, but it's a different flavor. Again, you let it ripen a little longer, it's a whole different experience. Just like when you do green tomatoes. I mean, that's a whole different, the whole different application.
See, this is what I like because you like to get to learn different things, like in the garden group, to know that we are so used to just like the green kiwi. And then when they were cutting these things open, and I'm like, oh, they got orange and
Yeah.
yellow and purple. Like, I never knew all of this. Like, this
Right.
crazy because what we get here, what you
Yeah.
get in the grocery store is what you see. So
Right.
I'm like, that is so interesting.
We're basically controlled on what we eat, because
Basically.
it's what they bring it. What they bring it to
Right.
the store is what we get. But you also have to look, like for gardening. What we try to do is look at what grows good in our region. You don't
Hmm.
want to, obviously, I'm going to press the envelope when I start my Boricua garden space. I'm going to press the envelope because I want to grow. I'm going to try to grow some tropical things,
Oh,
because
yes.
I want to see,
Are you gonna
but
put
it's
them in
not.
incubators? Like,
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to do some things to protect them for the winter. I'm gonna try to see, but I have friends that have done lemon trees here, and
Oh,
so
oh,
I have a person that just told me last month that they were able to do passion fruit, and I'm like, what?
nice.
So again, I'm just gonna try it.
And I told you when my aunt sent me some lemons from California, and I was looking at the lemons like, what is this? Like,
Yes,
this ain't what our lemons look like. And she
exactly.
was like, no, that's a real lemon. And I'm
Yes.
like, what?
Right.
Like we get so she's so different. She's like, no, this is a real lemon from a real lemon tree. What
Yeah.
y'all get
It's
is
I don't know what that
I
is.
don't know what y'all get. I
Because
was
it's different. Even the lemons and limes in Puerto Rico are different. Again, different variety. I mean, there's so many different varieties, even of carrots. I
I
mean,
know. I like the carrot medleys too. Like I like the
yes,
purple carrots and the yellow carrots and
yep.
all like yeah,
And they
those
all
are
have different flavors,
they do.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can talk all day about food because it's like
I
that's
know.
really what it's about, though. Is that if you can grow some of the things that you like in your garden, you know exactly what you put on it.
Mhm.
Ain't gonna be no recall on that on that stuff. It's been
Mhm.
a lot of recalls, as we all see in the news. Always something going on, and so you can control like the chemicals, the pesticides. You can control the way that it's harvested and cleaned and all of that, and then it's more nutritious. A lot of people don't realize how early things have to be picked for it to end up on our grocery shelves. And that
Yeah.
means that really it has very little nutritional value by the time we eat it.
That's
So that's the
interesting.
beauty of picking, being able to go outside and picking something right off and eating it. What they call farm to table. It is nothing like it. I'm trying to tell
And
y'all.
it
Y'all got to
does
get with
taste
that.
different.
It
Like
tastes different.
grocery store, like even my parents go, and this is outside the subject, but still on the subject. They go salmon fishing every year. And to taste salmon fresh from the water tastes nothing
Nothing
like
like it.
the
Yeah.
salmon in the grocery store. It's almost can't even eat it because it doesn't have the
It's not the
same
same.
taste.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So Aaron says he has two lemons in his yard, two Fords
Mhm.
and a Chrysler.
Uh,
He,
is he playing? I gotta ask that.
Well, guess what? I'm glad he didn't say a GM car.
oh, that's how she read it. That's how she read it. Okay. Okay, I got
Okay, so this is another gorgeous picture.
Oh yes, that was. So I love making salads. That's it's so funny because in the during the season I do salad. I do salads for breakfast like all
Oh,
the
do you
time.
eat the flowers?
And
really?
the flowers are edible flowers. They're called nasturtiums. And so
Oh,
there's probably again dozens of edible flowers that you can add to your salad or
that is
add
so
like sometimes
gorgeous.
I even add them to like if I make a sandwich, I put like cilantro and a few nasturtiums on the top. Again, each color nasturtium is a different experience. They have more of a bite to them. So some of them
Okay.
can be really like they cause heat, like heat, and some of them are just real spicy.
Really?
So it's really amazing. Yeah, you can eat them right straight
I
from
want
the
to taste one of
garden. You can buy
those.
them, but there's like white ones, red ones, orange, yellow. Yeah.
I
Okay,
like.
let's disclose this about Angie from just knowing her over many, many
What?
years. Whenever Angie makes something, period, or cooks something, she always makes it look good. Because Crystal's saying that looks too pretty to eat. It does look too pretty to eat. Angie has a gift of making her food. When she sits down to eat, and she's sitting down to like art. So I can see that.
See, that's how I like for my stuff to look.
And that
Like,
And
don't.
my husband would laugh right now if he heard you say that, because yeah, I'd only and he's so funny. He's like, "Oh, you only making it for you?" Like literally, I don't
yes,
do that for nobody else.
yes, yes,
It's pretty. It's that
But
salad was
I
gorgeous.
love colors. I mean, like like my friend is a nutritionist, and when she was doing classes at Whole Foods, she still works for Whole Foods, but she just transferred out of Detroit. And literally she was always adamant about eating colorful food
Mm-hmm.
at one time, not oh, let me have a plate of salad greens and then that's
Right.
it. No, add those colors. And when you making your if you have a piece of meat, then add something colorful on the
Yes, I
sides.
have to
Don't
have a
just keep
colorful
it all in
plate.
one color. That's when, yeah,
because they give
yeah, it just makes it look better, and then it's more nutritious.
the vitamins are the different
Mm-hmm.
colors. The nutritions are the different
Yeah,
colors.
the vitamins. Yeah,
Make sure you're getting
yeah,
everything.
that's why it's
And then it
important
just
to
make it
yeah,
looks
it's
more
important.
pretty. It just look more pretty too.
It does.
You know, it's so
Yeah.
gorgeous. And then
And
I
I
know,
encourage people to also, oh, sorry, to
no, no, no,
also
go
like
ahead.
try going to other markets, like there are Asian markets, there are Caribbean markets, there's Mexican, Latino markets. They have different things too sometimes, and just try something. You don't have to try like a whole bucket or something. Just get a few or something, and just say, I'm gonna try this in my meal today. You never know what you're gonna like until you try it.
Right.
No, and the people in those stores, they're really friendly too.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to
So
a few
Yes.
to get stuff for my hair, and they like want to help, and they like to know that we're interested in what they're doing. So that's a good suggestion, Angie. That may even be the challenge. Step out,
yes.
step out.
So what is
Oh
this,
yes, this
Angie?
was yeah. So these are beets I grew in the garden. So over on the left hand side, those are beets, and a lot of people don't eat the salad, the beet greens. I love the beet greens in salad, and so don't think that you just eat the beet and that's it. Chop up
Okay.
those salad greens and eat those too, because they're full of nutrition. And then
That's
those are some of the
interesting.
those so the cosmos, and I have some nasturtiums, and then I don't know if you can see the one that kind of looks like it's starting to dry.
Uh-huh.
That is cilantro, and
Oh, that's my favorite.
cilantro when it goes, yeah. But when it goes to seed, a lot of people, or when it flowers, they be like, "Oh, it's done. I can't use it." Use that flower. That little white flower is so delicious. So
I
you
didn't
can use
even
the
know
flower when
that.
it flowers. Yeah, it's a little, and they're very tiny flowers that come from the cilantro plant. But use that flower in different things, and then the flower will turn into a seed, and that seed is coriander seed that you buy at the market. So if you have a nice full cilantro plant, those seeds you can save those and use them to cook or to
Cilantro
plant
and
more cilantro the next
coriander.
year. Like it
Coriander is
literally is.
from cilantro.
Yeah, coriander.
So
Yes,
you ever got
it's the
those?
fun. It's the
eh,
seed.
Yeah, have you ever got those in a seasoning spin thing? And I never knew what to
Yes.
use them. I never knew how to use them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you use
Coriander is just
those?
the seed. So you use them like you could grind them like pepper if you want.
Okay.
A lot of people, what they do is they use them when they like say they're making a pickle. They put black
I
pepper,
have
corn,
seen
and they
those
put
in
the
there.
cilantro and the coriander in there. But
Okay.
people use. I mean, you see coriander on the shelf with the spices. You
I
see it
know,
all the
but I'll be
time.
like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
Like,
So
I can use all the spices and that would be left because I didn't know that. So now that I
yeah,
know that,
yeah,
that's interesting. Okay. And then we talked about these last time.
yeah. The garlic scapes, I think, right?
Yes, because
Yes,
everybody was
yes.
intrigued about these.
Hmm.
Yeah, the garlic scapes, man, they only come once a season, which is so sad. But you can do so many things with them, and then you can also chop them and freeze them, and then you'll have them longer. But that is what comes from that garlic plant that you plant in the fall. So again,
Okay.
the more garlic plants you plant, the more garlic scapes you'll get because they only come from the one plant. So they literally come out the middle of the plant, and so you got to plant enough garlic to get enough scapes for make it worthwhile. But yeah, that's one
That's
of my
so
favorite
pretty.
things is I'm telling you, don't miss out on them. And they sell them at farmers markets. I mean, they're very hot commodities when it's time for them.
We have to go to a farmer's market. And I'm trying to make
You
sure I
haven't been?
show. Oh no, I've been to one, but now I just want to go back because I feel like we learned so much.
Ah,
We learned so much.
yes. Oh, and this is also a tip about farmers markets. I used to do little mini tours for Girl Trek, because a lot of times, and I hate to say this, but a lot of times the vendors are not real farmers or
Oh,
gardeners. They are wholesalers,
that get
and
them from
they
farmers.
or stores, and then they make the stand look like it's a farmer stand. No lie, I'm not trying to tell you
That
the
is
lie.
all.
It's the truth. And so you
I
really, that's why
believe
they
you,
always
but
say, I know that's why they always say, know your farmer, know who's growing your food, because then you can verify. Like a lot of times I go to Eastern Market, I already know who is and isn't now because I've been there so often. But I literally ask them, like, where's your farm? And I question them. And some of them cannot answer me correctly. They
so
might have a beautiful sign and these nice
yes,
baskets
the
that look like
baskets.
gifts. Oh, it and then you kind of look behind them and you see boxes, and it's because they have taken stuff out of boxes and put it in these crates.
Wow.
So
So
you really
they're
have to know.
imposters.
Imposters, yes.
Unbelievable.
And we've been asking, and I'm hoping that Easter Market listens to us, because as consumers, we've been asking, is there a way that you can have like a certified sign on vendor tables or areas where we know for sure that this is an actual farm, someone has visited it, they see that they are doing things properly, and then we can say, okay, we know we're buying from a local farmer, not
Okay.
a wholesaler. So you have to be careful when you go to farmers markets. I've seen some really great displays and they were not farmers.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, and then this picture just was another picture from your sunflower, so I'm going to show that because that is absolutely
Oh yeah,
gorgeous.
it was, and that one gave me babies this year. So I
Oh
didn't have to plant.
wow.
Yeah, so the seeds dropped and I didn't have to plant new sunflowers. They just came up on their own. I was so grateful.
So I'm gonna plant some next year, but I'm gonna plant them out far from the yard so
Yes.
squirrels don't
Squirrels
get.
love sunflowers.
Yeah, I
Birds love
heard.
sunflowers. So yeah, they'll get attacked for sure. But they are really great because they're, visually very
Yes.
beautiful. But then they also help the soil.
Oh,
They help
okay.
the soil. Yeah.
Interesting.
So Aaron wants to know if there is a beet seed.
A beet seed?
Yes.
Yes, they are beet seeds. That's actually how we plant beets, is through seeds, because and I'll just say this, it's not always the case, but for a lot of what they call root crops that grow under the ground, those don't do well as transplants. So you have to seed those plants. So that's like anything like carrots, radishes, parsnips, rutabaga. I mean, so many that grow underneath the ground. Potatoes. You usually don't start those as transplants. You usually have to start them as seeds. And those were all the ones that you saw in that picture were started from seed.
Okay, that's
Okay. They
interesting.
look good. And the flowers that were in those pictures, those were all edible.
All the set. Well, they're all edible. Yeah, they're all edibles. But usually, I don't eat the cosmos too much. I probably should
Okay, let
try
me
them more,
see.
but the rest of them, yes, they're all edible. Yeah. So there's poppies in there, and then cosmos. With more like the pink flowers are cosmos, and then the other ones
Okay.
are nasturtiums, the orangey
Say
ones.
they're good, Angie. Do they taste sweet? Are they
Which
soft?
ones?
The ones that you put in your salad, the pretty orange.
Those not, yeah, the nasturtiums got a bite. I ain't gonna lie, but it's not horrible. It's not like, they kind of remind me of arugula in that sense. You
Oh
know how
yeah, yeah,
arugula has
yeah.
that bite. They kind of
Arugula does
remind me
have
of
a
that, but
bite.
it's not as, it doesn't seem as strong as arugula, so it's not
Okay.
as bad. Yeah.
Because arugula is one of those tastes. It's an acquired taste.
It is. And I mix my, so a lot of
Yeah.
times people don't understand that you could just mix it. You don't do a whole arugula salad. I mean, some
No,
people
you
might want to go
cannot.
that
Well,
route.
I cannot, but I will mix it in my smoothie.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm doing
Yes.
a spinach, I'll throw a little bit of
Right.
that, but I cannot have a whole plate of
Yes.
arugula. I
Yeah.
just
So I
can't.
just mix mine with other greens and stuff. But let me tell you, the bitter greens are actually so good for us to clean our intestines. So it's, we actually need to do more bitter introduction in our system. A lot of people don't
Okay.
like, the bitterness, but you really need it. It's kind of helps your body to work a little
So
better.
I get away with everything in a smoothie. I just hide it in a smoothie
Yep.
and
That's the
make
way
it
to
taste
do it.
good with an apple and
Yeah.
some pineapple.
Yeah, a banana. Yep.
Yep.
Usually I add banana, pineapple, yeah. And the honey, I use honey to sweeten as well.
Yep.
I had to start adding a banana because it was packed with sugar and it wasn't moving the way that I wanted to. My weight put
Okay.
much in
I
there.
do a half banana usually. Yeah, I don't do
Yeah,
a
see,
full.
I'm not a big banana person.
Yeah.
So I'll stick to just a more sweeter apple
Yeah,
instead,
yeah.
if I want to do a smoothie. But um
We've done it again.
we have all the
What?
way to the ends, but you gave a
We
challenge.
talked about Planet Detroit for how about 7 minutes or less?
It's okay. But if
Wait,
people want to just go to the website and check out some of my articles, just do that. And then if you want to sign up for the weekly newsletter, just do that. Planet Detroit is out here and it's a resource for everyone to learn more about what's happening in our environment.
Okay, so really quick, what were your 5 articles about? Do you recall? What did you write about?
Yeah, so the most recent one is about my visit to Soul Fire Farm.
In
and it
New
was a
York.
wonderful experience. So I basically, yeah, lay out like my experience there. Then I did one when I don't know if you all heard about the plant that spilled that chemical in the Huron River. That
Yes.
happened last month, or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there I went, and they did a protest, and I went to cover that. And then there was one about the rain garden, ribbon cutting at Sacred Heart Church. And then I covered this guy on the east side who's trying to clean up one of the parks over there that's off the water. That's really a neglected park that really needs to be, like, kind of more loved and more more resources given to it. And then the fifth one is escaping me right now. Hmm. Let
That's
me
good.
see. I
That's
can't remember
nice
what the fifth one
though.
is, but I did my first. I would say my first introduction into doing an article was last year. I did a get the Grand Prix off Belle Isle article, and that was like my first time doing like an opinion piece. And that was way. I didn't even know I was going to work for Planet Detroit at that time. So,
Nice.
oh, and then I did cover it. It was another protest by U.S. Ecology, which, if you don't know about U.S. Ecology, they are in a neighborhood similar to Marathon Oil, and they are releasing toxic fumes in that neighborhood where people live a block away. Literally, cannot be
Wow.
outside, cannot keep their windows open. It's horrible.
Wow.
I went over there and I could not believe the stench. Right next to the former incinerator, and a lot of people thought the incinerator was the smell they were smelling, and guess what? It was probably the incinerator, but it was U.S. Ecology that was basically, oh yeah, the incinerator was doing that smell, but it was them, and they're it's toxic. It causes cancer. I mean,
That's
those
so
chemicals that they
sad.
use. Yeah. So those were the stories I've written since
Wow.
June, and so I'm trying to do like one story a week kind of thing, just get my feet wet. So we'll see how it goes.
That's,
Love it. Love it.
I must say, I'm just so happy for you, Angie. You are like living in your passion and enjoying it because you just took this conversation, didn't know where it was going, and you
Mm-mm.
just were right there with us. We forgot to say where we going, ladies, all the way.
We did not. We didn't do the theme song or nothing.
Hey,
Oh, we just went right into it. And look, these are the peaches that I grew.
you
No
did.
lie, y'all. Okay, I'm.
Oh,
This was the first year we got this much like a harvest from them, and let me tell you, they rival Georgia peaches. That's all I'm gonna say. Cause I don't talk to folks that said they done had Georgia peaches, and it was like, y'all got to try Angie's peaches. But it wasn't a whole big harvest. But now I want to grow more fruit
but
trees.
that's
That's like
what's
my goal.
up.
And
Nice.
I'm
I
telling you,
love it.
the smell and the taste cannot compare to anything you get in the store. So,
Okay.
and this takes about 3 to 4 years to start getting harvest.
Okay.
Fruit
What you
trees.
gonna
So
do? Are you gonna make some peach cobbler for Thanksgiving, or what do you plan on doing?
I am freezing them. Now that we have our power back, I can actually process them, because I had planned to do that like Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we lost our power Monday night. So yeah, I'm gonna try to freeze some, and then I'm actually gonna try my hand at making like some pear, like not pear sauce, I guess you would call it, like instead of applesauce, pear sauce. Something that
That's
you can
what's
use for
up.
different things. Yeah. So it's so much potential. We can grow food that we can eat, and not just water grass that doesn't do anything for us.
Right. I guess you got a point.
Oh no, she
So
does have
Tanya, so
like
what was that challenge you gave them, Tanya?
people to go visit different stores,
Yeah.
like
Try a
That's a
different
great
store.
challenge.
Yeah.
the Indian stores, and like
Yeah.
that you would never find yourself doing. Go in there and
Right.
talk to them and get some of their fruit because they have like
Exactly.
that they're having shipped in. Because now that I think about it, Zari had to do something for high school, and she had to go in there and get like an African sweet potato.
Oh yeah. Okay. And it was a whole different taste.
It was a whole different taste,
Yep.
but okay,
And look, isn't it?
Yep.
to taste a different look and a different cost because he was like, Mommy, can you pay for it? I'm like,
Right.
sure, yeah, potato, I can pay for that. He was like, okay, that'd be $17. I'm like, $17.
Did it taste good though?
So just be ready for the price too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
think about where it's coming from.
Exactly. Yeah. But just get a couple things. They don't got to go all crazy. Just get a couple, or find a dish that you like at it, that you go to a restaurant and eat, and try to make it at home. I mean, just
Yeah,
something
I'm
simple like that.
notorious for that because
Yeah.
once I realize I'm giving you all this
I
money. Well,
know.
now that groceries are going up, I don't know. It might be comparable.
Yeah, that's true. But no, the groceries are going up and the restaurant prices are going up.
Oh, I'm over it.
I can't believe how much
But
tacos cost.
oh
Something
my
else.
gosh, child. Oh yeah, that's another topic. But okay, I don't want us to abruptly end, and I want us to be able to
Yes.
post it.
Thank
So
you.
Oh, Angie, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you both. This
yes,
was
we
nice.
appreciate you being here.
Yes.
All right, bye guys. We hope you have an awesome week. This show will air again tomorrow at the regular scheduled time, but just know that it will be a playback. So
Yeah.
All
have
right.
a
Adios.
nice weekend.
Yeah.